You were born in a small village where the land was dry and people were tired of life. Your father was a simple peasant who worked every day to exhaustion, but still could not feed his family properly. Mother sewed clothes for neighbors, earning a penny. Since childhood, you have understood one thing: honest work does not guarantee survival. You grew up with hunger, cold, and constant fear of tax collectors. Every visit meant that your family would take away the last grain or livestock. Sometimes you saw people disappear after they could not pay. Then you first thought, in this world, the one who has power is right. One winter was a turning point. The cold was stronger than usual, the harvest died, and the village was gripped by hunger. Your younger brother fell ill and did not survive the frost. You remember that day to the smallest detail: silence, tears of your mother, and an empty look of your father. That's when something broke inside. You no longer believed in justice. The world seemed cruel and indifferent. You began to notice that the strong soldiers, mercenaries, knights are always full. They don't die of cold. They take what they want. And for the first time you had the thought, you don't want to die. In the spring, a group of mercenaries came to the village, dirty, scarred, but with money, weapons, and confidence. They drank, laughed, and were not afraid of anyone. You watched them from afar until one of them noticed you. He called you, gave you a piece of meat more than you ate in a week. You looked at him as a god. He said that life is simple. You kill, you get paid. It does not matter who you fight for. It is important that you survive. Those words stuck in your head. For the first time you saw a different path. You cleaned weapons, carried water. You were beaten for mistakes and humiliated. But you endured. Because you saw the goal. At night, you watched them train. You memorized movements, punches, racks. Sometimes you tried to repeat them alone. Falling again. One of the old mercenaries noticed this. He started training you not out of kindness, but because he saw potential in you. He said, "In this world, it's not the strongest who survive, but those who don't give up." A year of hard training, pain and humiliation has passed. Once an old mercenary silently threw a sword in front of you. Real, cold, heavy, dangerous. You lifted it, feeling the weight pulling down, as if checking your readiness. From that moment, everything changed. Training became tougher. You were taught not just to fight, but to kill accurately, quickly, without hesitation. You fell into the mud, rose, and continued. Each blow became more confident. One night, you saw your reflection in the blade. There was no more fear in your eyes, only cold and determination. Then you realized you were no longer who you used to be. You were sent to a real fight for the first time. It was not like training. Chaos reigned around. Screams, metal ringing, dirt, and blood. You froze for a moment, unable to take a step, but the enemy was already running at you. Time disappeared. Instinct took over. You raised your sword and struck. The blow turned out to be accurate. The person in front of you fell. You looked at it, not believing that you had done it yourself. After the fight, you were shaking, hands did not obey. But around no one paid attention. For them, it was common. Then you realized, there is no place for feelings. This is just a job. And now, you are part of it. You don't sleep at night. You lie down, looking at the ceiling or at the dark sky. If the camp is under the open sky, around you can hear snoring, quiet conversations, the laughter of those who are already used to it. But for you, everything is different. This man appears before my eyes again and again. His face, his look. You remember the moment of impact. Over and over. It's like your mind is stuck in that moment and doesn't want to let go. You're trying to convince yourself it was a necessity. It was a choice without a choice. Either you or you, but somewhere deep inside there is a small voice. You could have stopped. Every day that voice gets quieter because you're going into battle again, raising your sword again, seeing blood again. And gradually, you notice that you no longer feel the horror as before. You start moving faster, beat more accurately, think colder. You learn to turn off emotions. And at some point, you realize it's not that you're killing that scares you. It's that you don't care. Time passes. You're not new anymore. You're not the guy who was afraid to hold the sword. Now, you're part of the squad. One of them. Your name is beginning to be remembered. Not as a friend, but as a fighter. You were put in the front ranks. You were trusted with difficult tasks. Sometimes you even notice respect in the views of other mercenaries. Short, restrained, but real. You start earning more. You have your own weapon, not just issued, but chosen by you. You know its weight, balance, every scratch. You become more confident. Movements are more accurate. Decisions are faster. But with that comes another thing. You're less and less remembering who you used to be. The village, the family, the famine, all this becomes blurred. Like a dream you saw a long time ago. Sometimes you try to remember your brother's face, and you can't. And that's when you realize you got the recognition, but you paid for it with a part of yourself. Gold starts flowing into your hands. After every fight, after every work done, you get paid. Coins ring in a bag, and before this sound seemed to you something almost magical. Now, it's just a sound. You buy the best food. You buy the best clothes. Sometimes you even allow yourself to relax in a tavern. But all this does not bring the feeling that you expected. You look at the people around you, drinking, laughing, arguing, but you feel like you're separated from them by an invisible wall. You can't relax. You always look at the exits, always assess the threat, always keep your hand close to the weapon. Gold does not give freedom. It just gives you the opportunity to continue this life. A life where every day could be the last. And the more you earn, the clearer the idea becomes. You're not just selling your skills, you're selling your life. Piece by piece. It happened unexpectedly. Your squad got a contract, generous, almost suspiciously generous. The task seemed simple: escort, protection, regular work. But from the beginning, something was wrong. It's too quiet. And then an ambush. On all sides. Archers, spears, riders. It wasn't an accidental fight. It was a trap. You see your comrades fall. Those with whom you shared food, blood, nights by the fire. Someone screams. Someone tries to run. Someone fights to the end. You know, you've been sold. The contract was a lie. You were just expendable in someone else's game. You're fighting like never before. For money, not for honor. In order to survive. When everything is over, there is only silence and bodies around. You remain one of the few, and at this moment, you finally understand. No one needs a mercenary. As long as you're alive, you're an instrument. When you die, you forget. From now on, you stop looking for answers. You don't ask yourself why and why anymore. You accept what you've become. You're a mercenary, not a hero, not a villain. Just a man who does what he has to do to survive. You're not trying to bring back the past anymore, not trying to change yourself. You're just going forward, step by step, fight after fight, day after day. And in that cold acceptance, you find a strange sense of peace. Not happiness, not hope, just silence. The silence of a man who has lost too much to be afraid of anything else. The silence of a soul that no longer waits for salvation. You no longer dream of a better life. You no longer believe in fate. Do not wait for dawn after darkness, because now you understand the truth of this world. Some people aren't meant to live for fame. Some are only destined to survive. And while others pray to the gods for tomorrow, you're just sharpening your sword and getting ready for another night.